Hey guys, welcome back to another bike shop order opening here at the Mountain Bike Shed. You can shop online at mtbshed.com. Please like and subscribe. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to give away a full suspension mountain bike here on YouTube. So please do that. We'll jump right into it today. I actually have not opened these boxes at all. This was an order we placed last week, so don't really remember what's in here. Hopefully we have some packing slips in case anything's for anybody in particular. But yeah, visit us at mtbshed.com. We can ship things directly to your house, or you can stop in and see us. Basically, we're doing these openings, kind of go through maybe some of our products that are moving fastest, and I'll maybe explain why we ordered certain parts or why stuff's here. So it should be interesting nonetheless. We'll try to put chapters down in the bottom for you, so that way if you're not wanting to sit through everything or want to jump to something, you can. I have no idea what's in here. I do not remember this order. We ended up having to put in a bunch of orders last week. A lot of things came up last minute. So we'll have a few of these coming out over the next few days. We'll see how they get put out. So let's jump right into it. Linda's here on screen with us, as you can see. We'll do two Lindas for a moment there. Linda's the shop dog. We're here in St. Louis, Missouri, Eureka, about 1.5 miles from Six Flags St. Louis. Bunch of cool mountain bike trails around us. Some of the most popular in the area. Greensfelder County Park, Bluffview Zombie. They've got some flow trails out there, and some other cool stuff. So come and ride with us. You know, if you're passing through, stopping, passing through St. Louis, we're all right off Highway 44, West St. Louis, about 20 minutes out of town, but really cool hotel, the Holiday Inn. It's a really old retro place. We've got camping at the KOA, campgrounds, all that fun stuff. So nonetheless, first thing in the box here, we have Shimano MT200s. So this is just like your stock brake that's going to show up on most entry-level bikes. Ideally, hopefully, if you're looking at an entry-level bike, it's not coming with something lesser. But if you see Shimano's on a bike you're looking at, Shimano's are really reliable. It's our recommendation for customers. We got some fronts and rears here. This is just going to be in the way. But yeah, this is just base level. I think they call it Alivio. So the M200s, the fronts will be 1,000 millimeters. The rears will be 1,700 here in the U.S. Left and right. So yeah, bunch of Shimano. This is really gonna block view. I'm gonna go ahead and set that on the ground. But yeah, Shimano brakes. It's our normal. If we're gonna recommend an upgrade for somebody, we'll put Shimano's on. They're reliable. They do a good job. That's all that's in this box. Just a bunch of brakes. Oh, and a tire. Let's open up the hydraulic brakes here. I'll throw you guys underneath. So, BLM 200. Let's crack this guy. So Shimano upgraded the barrel design on these kind of entry-level models, or whatever you want to call it, which is nice. So this is like what the SLX used to have, the same barrel design. The only thing and even the levers are a little bit nicer in these M200s. So it's got a nice hook. Even you could definitely one finger that, but even if you're going two fingers, still again entry-level brakes. But really nice lever. It's not super long. They used to be really long, these MT200s. So this is 2023, but really cool, and just a typical two-piston caliper. So really neat. I really love what they've done with these. These are at an affordable price point, like $40, $50 range, whatever. So entry level, but reliable. They work. If you're looking to upgrade your brakes, then grab these guys. You can't beat the price. Reliability of Shimano. They just work. Easy to bleed, easy to maintain. Mineral oil. So good Shimano hydraulic brakes. Ardent Race. Moving on to the next tire. Our Ardent Race is a 26 by 2.2. This customer, believe, is from Toronto, Canada. He has an old 26er, a Stevens, I believe it was. Stevens, I get, is a brand up in Canada, but we don't deal with them here. Anyhow, 26 by 2.2 Ardent race. You wanted something fast on the middle, as he'll mostly be on light gravel and stuff like that, but he will mountain bike as well with this. So 26 inch, very cool. I believe that's the story behind that. Don't remember. We do keep 26 inch Maxxis tires in stock here at the shed. You know, we've got high roller, a regular Ardent. Again, I think he was planning on rolling pavement, so we brought in the race for him. All right, this is a big giant box. The brakes all came in a big box too, but we were low on stock on entry-level upgrade brakes. It's a big spring item. You know, if you have mechanical brakes, disc brakes, you can put a set of Shimano's on there for under $100, and you stop having to adjust your cable, having that come out of whack. Hydraulic disc brakes are nice because they self-adjust, so it's a good way to go. All right, good. I was a little bit concerned. It's the other Ardent race, so we do have a full set of tires for that customer. Again, that was going in for somebody specific. So this is neat. This is a shock pump. And this could be a very long conversation. I'll try to keep it brief. Just a typical analog shock pump. Again, 30, 40 bucks. There are digital versions. We use the digital version in the shop just because I feel like it's more accurate. It's easier to see, and we're obviously filling a lot of shock, so it's important. I mean, really, you know, I don't know if you need to really, check your check your shock pressure every ride, but I mean, if you lose a few PSI, that can make a big difference as to what your ride quality is going to be. So if your rear shock's running a little bit low, your bottom bracket's going to sit lower, you might have more pedal strikes. Obviously, you know, if you're going through rougher terrain, then your suspension's gonna pack down. It's not gonna do its job properly. So if you have a full suspension bike, you have to have a shock pump. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. You need to be checking that rear can at least every 2 weeks. I'd say every week, if not every ride. I mean, you're gonna check your air pressure on your tire every ride. You might as well check that rear can as well. Your fork's gonna hold up a little bit better. It's not gonna leak as much air. If you know, your rear can, for one, it's under higher pressure, so maybe you're running closer to like 150 to 250 PSI on your rear can in a very small canister, opposed to on a fork, you're running maybe 100 PSI on a much larger, you know, volume of air. So more is going to leak out. I'll throw you guys underneath. You don't need to stare at me the whole time today. But this is a Shox. It's analog. It's plenty accurate. You know, like I said, on like your fork, most people are running 100. A fork you can get away with not checking as often. So if you maybe go like, you know, a month without checking your fork, you're probably fine. Big changes in temperature, elevation, those things will affect, you know, the density of the air, I guess, and or the pressure. I'm not sure on the science, but if you have big changes in either temperature or elevation, definitely check your pressures on your fork and on your shock. But yeah, again, that you have to have one of these if you have a full suspension bike. If you don't, come by the shop. We just got a bunch more in. We've got the digital ones as well. But yeah, we carry the Shox one. I think, you know, as far as like Shox and Fox go, they seem to be the same exact pumps on the digital side of things. So most of your digital pumps are all going to be the same on these guys. You know, there's a little bit of variation. Toe Peak's got a really small one, but this is the most affordable that I've come across. Is what we carry here in store. Come and get one if you have a full suspension bike. You have no idea how much you're messing up your ride if you're not running the proper pressure. The same goes with tires. I mean, if let's say you're running a tubeless setup and you're typically running, you know, 24 PSI on the rear and 22 up front for typical trail riding, you know, if you lose 2 or 3 PSI in your tires, that's going to change your ride quality a lot, or if you're too pumped up. So, you know, be mindful of that. You can, if you ride a trek bike, you can go on their website and they'll have a suspension calculator to kind of give you a good baseline to start on, you know, maybe what your pressure should be, what your rebound should be, things along those lines. We'll try to maybe do an episode on suspension setup coming up, but get a shock pump. You have to have a shock pump if you have a full suspension bike. If you don't have a shock pump, I don't know what you're doing. You're really losing all the advantages of having your full suspension. If you have a hardtail, you know, again, like I said, you can get away with once a month checking air pressure on a hardtail. So, you know, if you bring your bike into the shop once a month, you can ask the guys to fill it up. We'll always fill that up for you. It's no problem. It's no big deal. So, you know, if you just have an air fork on the front, you're fine. Maybe not to have a shock pump, but you need to have a shock pump for the rear. And your typical floor pump or your frame pump for your tires, that's not going to get to a high enough PSI to be able to adjust your rear shock properly. So keep that in mind as well. All right, we're doing things. There is a lot more stuff in here. I was diddle-daddling at the beginning thinking we were just going to have brakes in one tire, but there is actually a lot of stuff. So let me throw you guys under screen here. So this is an I-Spec shifter clamp. During the pandemic, the only 11-speed shifters that I could get a hold of were XT, and they were I-Spec. Not that many people are really running that system. So this is an adapter from Problem Solvers, fairly expensive, to be able to mount those shifters up so that we can use them on anybody's bike. So yeah, I've been sitting on those shifters for like 1.5 to 2 years now. Again, pandemic purchases. What can you do? But that's it. Oh, I'm wearing, today I got the GD 350 on. So we are an authorized Casio G-Shock dealer here at the Mountain Bike Shed. Also Garmin's. So anything you want from Garmin or Casio, we can get you. A lot of the old cool retro stuff or G-Shocks like this guy. I like this one because it's got oopsie, it's supposed to be a one button. If we're on the home screen, it's got a 1-button timer, so it's counting down from 10 right now. This is a vibration alert. So the vibration alert watches are my absolute favorite. It helps me keep track of time throughout the day. And there it goes, says time's up. I hope you guys can see that better than I can. We're working against reflections here. But that was vibrating. Obviously, you guys couldn't see or tell that. But the GD350 also has these like shoulder lugs underneath. Really nice. This is probably my favorite Casio or G-Shock that we sell. These are on the website as well, so go to mtbshed.com and order those. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I love that hourly vibration alarm. So no beeping, no annoying nonsense. I mean, you can. Easy to change, all that kind of stuff. But I like that on every hour I can make my watch vibrate and just alert me another hour has passed by. So I tend to get zoned in on stuff here at work. It's good to keep me moving and somewhat on task with things. So pretty cool. I-Spec collar, glad to have those. That'll help move some stuff. Hey, looky here, more Shimano brakes. So again, kind of restocking the brake situation. More collars. That's, I think, for people, a lot of times, it's funny to me when customers come in and like they'll see the price of them, they're like, holy moly, you know, mountain biking's expensive. But then like for me, you know, everything I buy, I have to buy, you know, in every size or multiples of that. So I get it. I feel you guys. I do it, you know, 5-10 fold. So yeah, I understand that. What else do we got in this box? Oh, we got a set of Ritchie bars. These have a rise on them. These are 25.4 diameter here. So we ordered this in for a work order. Sorry guys, you can't see me. We ordered this in for a work order for a customer. The reason being he's got an older mountain bike. And I guess rather than changing the stem up, we're going to try raising his bars first. It's a threadless steerer, so he's already maxed out on his stem height. He's got all the spacers underneath. So this is our next kind of step. We're going to try out this riser bar for him. And then from there, maybe we'll shorten up the stem. Maybe we'll get an adjustable stem on there for him. I'll have to double check and see. I'm not really recalling exactly. But yeah, Ritchie bar, this is pretty affordable. I think these are like 30, 40 bucks. Everything's 30, 40 bucks. But pretty cool. I always appreciate a good rise. So I like this. This is like a 38, 40 mil rise. No, 30 mil rise. So yeah, I recommend that for mountain bikes as well. You know, it depends on your riding style, but I like being kind of more upright in a more aggressive position. So that's me. Get new bars for your bike. Oh, a couple things I'll throw you underneath while we've got handlebars here. I can't, you guys I can almost make it on screen. There it goes. So this 25.4 is what we're measuring where the stem clamps on. So most bikes are going to be 31.8 or they're going to be 35 millimeters nowadays. More modern kind of mountain bikes are typically coming 35 mil, kind of your nicer, maybe more higher end stuff, I suppose. Whereas those are going to come in 35. Your kind of more entry level bikes and stuff often are still coming at 31.8. So it says increases stiffness, which makes sense, but I don't know if I notice a difference. And I don't like my bars being too stiff, so I'm not a big fan of carbon bars for that reason. I like the flex of these alloy bars. I think that's neat. And then just so everybody knows, maybe it's basic for everybody, but the ends of most bars, you don't really need to worry about it, is going to be 22.2 millimeters here. So of course I don't have my micrometers in here. That's weird. But so when you're buying grips, when you're buying handlebars, almost everything's going to be 22.2 here. So you don't really need to worry about that too much. So if you're shopping on mtbshed.com for a new set of grips, know that they're all going to be this 22.2. It'll specifically mention if it's anything different. SDJ or SDG has the Slater Juniors. So they actually have a thinner bar and some adapters that you'll use for the shifters and stuff for kids so they can put a thinner grip on. But on, mountain bike, on riser bars, flat bars, they're going to be 22.2. The difference you're looking for is here. So this is going to be your stem clamp diameter. So that can be on older bikes, 25.4 or 20. There's a range of smaller sizes. And then on your modern bikes, 31.8. Or 35 millimeters. So depending on the price of your bike, you can kind of guess. The more expensive your bike is, the bigger that number gets. Anyhow, and then the other things you might experience when you're chopping a set of bars is your rise. So that's this. Mountain bikes typically are going to be anywhere from, again, on your kind of more entry-level bikes, you're probably going to get like a 15 mil rise on most brands. 25 mil maybe on your kind of more trail or enduro geared bikes. And then I like 35, 38, 40 mil rise. Once you start getting above 38 or so, it gets really weird. They kind of start really looking like BMX bars, things along those lines. So, and it really throws off for me, at least, it feels like it throws off the feel of the bike too much. So that's rise. And then the other number you'll see is sweep. So it's going to be kind of hard for me to show on camera. I'm not exactly sure. Sweep is kind of how the bars, curl. Geez, I should have went to film school or something. How they kind of sweep back. So, the bars are here, they're sweeping back towards my body. So that's sweep. I try to do a pretty minimal sweep myself, especially with how wide bars are now. I like wide bars that sit high and minimal sweep. And then the sweep, when you're installing your new set of handlebars, I like that sweep to go right into my shoulder. So if the bars are sweeping back, whatever angle that is, I'm going to rotate my bars to where when I'm in my kind of ready position, when I'm getting ready to do a downhill, so maybe not at my top seat height, but maybe kind of when I'm crouched down and in that ready or attack position. That's where I'm thinking about, okay, where's that sweep of the bars? How's it going to get into my shoulders? Because I want like kind of a good strong circle here. And then when I get through rough stuff, I'm on aluminum bars. I'm pushing into that sweep. And I'm kind of getting a flex motion too. So I'm getting a little bit of, I guess, kind of suspension. Pretty good sweep on these guys. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. So this is the sweep here, how it kind of curls back. But yeah, so I try to run that to go into my shoulders, kind of make a circle type situation. But yeah, I think that's the best. I love, Spanx has like their Vibracore. So if you're looking for some dampening, but still want the flex of an aluminum bar, you can go with Vibracore. That's pretty cool. Or just a set of aluminum bars and then a nice set of grips, maybe like the ODI Rogues or something along those lines. Pretty cool. Those are handlebars. I believe this is a 26-inch fork. So we talked about steerers. Linda girl, are you excited about opening the shop today? We've got about 10:23. We open here soon. So yeah, we've got a 26-inch fork. It's got posts on it, which we can remove. That's what you're seeing here. So 26-inch forks for just like a general bike that isn't anything crazy expensive. It's not a dirt jump fork, something along those lines. Pretty limited on options out there in the world. So this is the Shox Recon. This is probably a silver in 26. It's going to have a 100 mil with a quick release. So rebound adjustment here on the bottom. Yeah, we'll unscrew these posts because this is going on a disc brake bike, same one that's getting Ardent races. Maybe the handlebars as well. I don't recall it to look at the packing slip. But yeah, forks. And this is a straight steer. So again, entry-level bikes are going to mostly have a straight steerer like that. So if you are trying to upgrade your entry-level bike, don't. If it was sub $1,000 when you bought the bike, don't upgrade it. Save that money to go towards your $1,500 plus bike. The reason being, things like this straight steer, even if you're on a 27.5 or a 29, there's just not really nice options out there that are worthwhile to start investing into. So, you're going to pay at least, maybe this fork's like, since it's a 26, maybe it's like $250. I forget exactly what it is, but very entry level. But you're not really gonna get an entry level fork new for less than $200. That's air. That's gonna be good. You have a rebound adjustments, and as we were talking about shock pressure, you guys will see here. You're in the darkness, but there's a little graph. So imagine I'm riding a bike and maybe you're sitting on the bike looking at it. You'll see that graph. Let's see, might be able to throw you on screen. Need a bigger box. So yeah, it's going to be sideways, but this is going to be on the inside stanchion of your fork. So you'll see here rider weight and then what PSI you should be running. So and also a lot of times at the bottom, this has a max. The Shox Recon has a max PSI of 265, FYI. So yeah, pretty cool. This one's actually got two settings. One's for if it's an 80 mil travel. This is the 100 mil, so we're going to go with the second set. So I weigh about 175 pounds. So I would go here, and I would want to be at 85 to 100 PSI. I like my fork set up a little bit stiffer here in the Midwest in St. Louis. So I would run 105. I would try to shoot close to 100, and I would put 105 in the fork, so that way when the valve releases and I lose a little bit, I'm still pretty stiff. And again, I ride my bike a little bit stiffer. Here we have the mounts for the disc brake caliper. Again, we can remove the posts up top, which I will not be able to get on camera. Oh, we can remove those posts for the rim brakes and run disc brakes on this fork. Then 26, again, not a lot of options. Here's another thing, rebound control. We typically recommend people start neutral in that. A good way to kind of see where you need to be on rebound is to maybe go to a familiar section of trail and something that's maybe got a variety of terrain in it, maybe even some turns. I like to turn it all the way fast, ride that, and then go back through and ride it all the way slow. You'll notice a difference in your bike from there. And then you can kind of reset to the middle. This will click every time you turn it. You know, you'll count how many clicks there is total, go to the middle, and then based on, you know, your experience there, if you're a heavier rider, maybe you want to go a little bit faster. If you're a lighter rider, you would go a little bit slower. Rebound's going to control, once that fork compresses, how quickly does it return up. So if you're a heavier dude, you need it to be pushing faster to get you return back up. Otherwise, your suspension, again, is going to pack down. It's not going to be able to do its job, and it's not going to be good. So maybe heavier guys err towards the faster side. The lighter fellas err towards the slower side. Because conversely, if you're 130 pounds and you compress your fork down on, you know, maybe a drop or something like that, or a chattery section of trail where you're having multiple hits in a row, you know, if you compress that suspension down quickly and it rebounds fast, it's going to lift your front wheel off the ground, which is going to not give you as good a control on your bike. So slow it down if you're a light guy. If you're a heavier rider, then speed it up. My fingers, I was doing the opposite with the rabbit and the turtle, but listen to my words, not my fingers pointing which way to go. And it'll have arrows and stuff to show you where to do it. So again, maybe start a little bit on the more neutral aspect and then move to the more, you know, either faster or slower. If you're a heavier rider, maybe move to the faster side. That's pendulum wall clock dinging. You guys have been hearing that ticking the whole time. But yeah, that's it for today. I'll try to get another one of these out later in the week. We've got some other stuff we're expecting in. So tune in again, shop at mtbshed.com. Please, if you're listening at this point, subscribe, like it. We really appreciate that. And we want to be able to give away a bike at 1,000 subscribers. So help us get there. We're nearing 300. So on the path. Ideally, one day, 5 years from now, you'll see this and we'll have many more subscribers, being able to put out a lot more cool content, give away more cool stuff. And you guys will be like, they weren't at 1,000 subscribers, but, you know, I probably going to be 70 years old when that happens. Don't make me old when that happens. Thanks, guys.